So
So
that just goes to
hold
show
on.
you, like,
Hello, everybody. Preston Poulter here, Pocket Jacks Comics. This is our Tuesday writers stream. Kyler probably will be back on. Now he was a little bit backstage, and by the way, you should go and back Pumpkin Patch #2. We had some exciting stuff. We got a showdown coming here in Dallas, where Mr. Asaf's going to be representing himself. He's filed a reply or we have a motion coming up where he's trying to get my attorney sanctioned for a frivolous lawsuit. This ought to be entertaining. And part of what Mr. Asaf is saying is that John Lamont has no damages because his reputation has done nothing but go up since this litigation started. And, John, I think maybe he might have a point. I mean, you're selling more than ever, right?
That has nothing to do whatsoever causally with.
Right. I mean, essentially he's saying that because you put hard work into building your shows, I can talk all the shit about you I want, which
the change is being that John is going out to things and he's finished a bunch of books.
Right. Yeah. I mean, really, like from the legal point of view, we are honor bound, of course, not that anyone follows it, but we're honor bound to mitigate our damages, to try and do as best we can. And not just like sit back and cool our heels and go, well, he damaged our reputation.
How much better would John have done if hadn't happened?
Exactly.
Perhaps he would be a self-sustaining creator now, and indeed his growth would have been more exponential than geometric.
Yes. So I didn't think his argument was very compelling.
There, I guess. Talk to your lawyer, because I'm definitely not your lawyer.
Exactly. So I didn't think Dean's argument was very compelling. We'll see what the judge thinks, but yeah, John, I'm glad that you sold like 6 Guinevere trades at the last con or something. Oh,
it was about 6. I think it was about 6 Guineveres and about 5 White Lilies, which
that's
surprised me.
That's a record for you, right?
Well, considering the fact that I bought 10 from you 6 months ago.
Exactly. Yeah, you sold half that order at one show.
Yeah.
I mean,
was
technique-wise,
this a bigger con than you're used to, John, or did you just do better totally by random?
Oh no, this was just Tampa Bay Comic-Con was the biggest show I've done this year.
Awesome.
By far. And considering that my last 2 shows, 50 people showed up at combined.
Yeah. So
my last show, I made $60 for the entire weekend.
Wow, that's horrible.
Off a $250 table.
That's miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the show before that, I made $150, and that was because one of the other vendors liked my stuff.
There you go. Yeah. I do that.
Really,
I got to say, at really small shows, I'll do that too. Where I don't see anybody, I'll just start walking the aisles and going, "Hey, what do you do? Oh, that's neat. I make comic books." Anyway.
Well, the thing about other vendors at comic shows is they, more than even people who attend them, care about comics.
Yeah. And a lot of times, particularly at a slow show, they need something to read. I'll be like, "Hey, gee, look. We can't all sit here and swap beads and wallets and, plushies back and forth. Someone's got to put out something entertaining while we're waiting for this miserable show to end, So and I find at the small shows, selling to other vendors really pays off. I didn't hear what you said.
Funko Pop sales. If only you could monetize the Funko Pop sales in that way.
Exactly. And you got 3 or 4 of those at every show. There's the Funko Pop sellers. And
but
go to them.
Nothing else. It's totally vexing. They don't even really care about the characters. I don't feel they're just
I know.
It is a collectible. I must have it.
Yeah. I hear.
I like when people do the drawings on the boxes of the Funkos, like the artists at the cons. People will buy one of the Funko Pops and then bring it to the artist that does a custom drawing on the front and sign it. That's kind of cool.
There we go. So, let's see. We got Blood Feud today, and Kyler, do we have anything from you?
Yeah, I did the AT number 2.
AT number 2.
First 10, first draft.
Okay, AT number 2. Well, shit. I mean, we have exciting stuff tonight. You know what? Here, before we get too carried away. By the way, yes, BitRush, congratulations on your campaign.
Thank you.
Yeah, your Kyler, he's doing very well. He's about to cross 10 grand.
Still got 10 days.
He's making Facebook ads work. Fabulous. So yeah, congratulations. It's
10 days
stuff.
left. Go back me on Kickstarter, Pumpkin Patch #2.
So
while you're at it, back Cygnus Imperium.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Cygnus Imperium. We got so much stuff. And we got a script submitted by somebody in South Africa, and they said they couldn't really be here, but nevertheless they wanted some feedback. So I figured we could start there. That way we can beat up on somebody who's not here and kind of blow off some steam.
Not show up?
Which one?
Parasocial.
I thought. I mean, your script is in there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. But I mean, I wanted to start.
No, we should totally read that.
Yeah.
That guy reached out to me earlier and was like, "Can you please tell me if my work's embarrassing?" And
exactly.
I was like, "It's not embarrassing. Just send it to the street."
All right. So let's look at this very embarrassing amateur effort here. Certainly starting off with. Mm-hmm. All right. So starting off with some pretty good artwork.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, character sketch. And let's see. It's not a hentai.
I like it already.
I like it already.
Not a hentai.
But it's not a hentai. But ...
No, it's got a butt. That's all I'm.
Exactly. But
Let's
it's a
start out with the first line saying it's not a hentai. It's probably a hentai.
Yeah. Exactly. It's not a hentai, but there probably will be some sex. All right, hold up. Okay, so I guess I'll narrate. Exterior, riverbed, old wood bridge, midday establishing shot. This is screenplay style. All right, the old wooden bridge stands tall. Where the river once raged, it is now dry and desolate. A drought has stripped the water bare down to the riverbed, with the exception of a meager stream whose waters are laced with blood. A crow sits on a corpse watchfully as it pecks at the man's rotting flesh. Further upstream, by the way, just a little note because I know he was very curious. So far, pretty good. Can't really pick you on it for passives, but that's a big block. Like I feel like a carriage return would help. Like right there, boom, laced with blood. Carriage return, new pair. A crow sits on a corpse, watching as it pecks at the man's rotting flesh. Furthermore, upstream lay many more corpses. At the center of the massacre stands a palanquin carriage, Japanese horseless carriage. Norimono. 4 mercenary bandits stand over the corpses, looting them. One of the bandits thinks he sees something approaching downstream. He stand, placing his hand on his sweating forehead, shading his eyes from the light. The scorching man hammers down on the ground, creating waves of heat obscuring the approaching stranger.
We got company.
An unfortunate-looking man with a large scar that runs down the side of his face and ends at his chin squints his eyes at the broken silhouette. He strains, but recognizes the man.
No, that's him, the lazy bastard.
That's Megoichi. Megoichi. He dresses like a dandy.
Don't you know? That's how the wealthy dress. Makes our job easier, doesn't it?
The calmly approaching stranger waves his hand in a friendly manner, carefully steps over the bodies while fighting off the heat by fluttering his paper fan.
Good to see you, boss, but you've missed all the fun.
Well, looks like you did just fine without me. Besides, I was carrying your payment, gold.
Gold.
At the mention of gold, a crooked smile stretches across Scar's mangled face. Magoichi reaches inside his robe and produces a purse of gold, neatly fastened with a long leather string and a very tight knot.
Here.
He gently throws the purse over to Scar. He catches it against his chest.
Oh, yes. Aha, that's heavy. You don't mind if?
By all means, please. You didn't open the carriage by chance, did you?
Scar, see, this would be an easier transaction if it were in Bitcoin. They would have to transport all this damn gold. Stupid people. Anyway, Scar begins to wrestle with the knot.
Of cow snot, boss man. Didn't even take a peek.
And my friend, the bald one with the red ribbon tied around his arm?
Ran like a coward.
That sounds about right. Well then, I guess this means our business has concluded.
While Scar continues to struggle with the knot, Margarici calmly puts away his fan and places his hand on the hilt of his katana. Scar finally pries open the knot and looks inside. The wide grin Scar was wearing slips from his face. A flash of light glimmers off Margarici's blade, followed by the thin arc of blood. Scar glances down at his feet where he felt a tingling, burning sensation, only to see a puddle of blood and what used to be his leg lying on the floor. Violence is happening. With nothing to stand on, he falls. The purse of gold goes flying. Scar hits the ground, writhing in pain and grabbing at his stomach.
How many lines into that paragraph was it before you realized that violence was happening? Because that paragraph started on page 3, didn't it?
It did. Yeah, it was back here.
So, how many lines do you think?
All right. Well, struggling with the knot now. Comp puts away his fan and puts his hand on the hilt of his katana. Not really.
I feel like there's 3 things happening in one panel. Should probably be like 2.
Well, it's not a panel. It's a screenplay. Yeah.
Oh, this is a screenplay. Okay.
Screenplay. Yeah.
It's a screenplay with some comic notes, like in the dialogue, which is cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. My immediate note that I make frequently with screenplays is that think of each shot of a screenplay should be its own paragraph. So basically, every time the camera cuts, you should do a new paragraph.
Yeah.
It'll make breaking it into panels later easier, because then you're going to be basically converting each one of those shots further broken down into a single panel.
Importantly, the actual murderous violence demands its own paragraph.
That too.
Yeah. It took 5 lines before we got there, and then 2 more lines before Preston noticed something fun was happening.
Yeah. I mean, we've had flashes of lights. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stuff. And then we have Scar. This is getting very kinky. Rat face looks dumbfounded, mouth hanging open, gawking like an idiot. By the time he manages to gather his thoughts, it's too late. Magoichi strikes down hard, nearly cleaving him in half. The blade, wedged in deep, struck neck to sternum.
Wait, who's killing who now?
Because
I got confused.
Yeah.
I thought Maguchi was the guy that got his leg blown off.
Yeah,
No,
that's Scar.
Perfect.
That's Scar. See Scar saying "fuck my leg" there.
Okay.
Who's Rifleman?
You are. Congratulations.
You are.
No, one of you guys, because your 2 characters just died.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but you're nobody yet, so you should totally be Rifleman.
No, Magoichi.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's the boss. Someone kill him.
The shaking rifleman desperately tries to steady the ramrod as he forces the shot down the rifle barrel. Blood hisses from the rat face's chest. Magoishi twists the katana, push kicks him aside, fleeing his blade just in time to be rushed at by a big bastard.
You should have killed me first. Die, you fucker.
The big bastard. See, so far I'm not getting any hentai vibes, I just gotta say.
This is not a hentai. Didn't you read the title?
It's not a hentai, clearly.
Yeah.
I say that's false advertising.
Yeah.
I say good advertising.
So this is an animated script, movie script.
I mean, it's
yeah,
probably
well, it
gonna
must
be
be.
comic,
So it's not like a movie; it's an animation.
Okay. The big bastard heaves his sword high and comes down with a clumsy overhead strike. Magoichi made to move left. He faked right at the last moment. The big man misses his strike by a mile. Magoichi spins his sword round and stabs backward. The blade finds a resting place right in the bastard's possessive lower spine. The rifleman takes aim, squeezes the trigger. The hammer strikes down, igniting the black powder and a place of smoke and a plume of smoke. But Magoichi twists with the big bastard still skewered on his sword, pointing him towards the rifleman. The musket ball hits cracking into the big man's chest, causing red vapor to spray up, followed by a short cough of blood, and that's him done.
Shit.
Script's a little foul-mouthed. The rifleman bites down on a priming paper, tearing it open, half spilling the gunpowder, trying desperately to ready his next shot, but Magoichi is too quick, dashing forward with a thrust into his gun, wrenches it free, disemboweling him, following him with a cut in the opposite direction, Violence has definitely happened. Magoichi turns. Look at that. The swordsman prevailed. Checks behind. Did you expect that to happen? Probably not. You're probably surprised. Like, oh, wow, the samurai won. Magoichi turns, checks behind himself, and by some miracle, Scar was still alive. Gritted in his teeth and wrapped around his stump was a leather strap. He had taken it from the purse. All of a sudden, we slipped into past tense. Anyway, its contents now spilled across the ground, which contained no gold, just ordinary stones. He finished. See, this is if it was Bitcoin, they wouldn't have this problem. He finished fastening the tourniquet around his stump and began to crawl away. Magoichi unfolds the cloth and walks in front of him.
Hey, how do I look? Presentable?
Magoichi wipes the blood spatter away from his face.
You look like a lying, cheating bastard. You ugly son of 1,000 fathers.
Scar spits at Magoichi.
Me? Ugly? You look like someone carved a giant pussy right into the side of your face, and you're the only got one leg.
Ooh, rough.
Magoichi, you asshole, I will kill you.
You can always try. The nearest town is that direction, about a mile or so. Best of luck, my friend.
Magoichi approaches the carriage, slides open a viewing slot, and winks at the frightened beauties inside. So Magoichi is clearly a trash-talking samurai. Chapter 2.
Can we just pause for a second since
Of
we're moving
course.
on to a new scene?
Yes.
Where did the gunman come from? And also the carriage?
I
Well,
think that was we opened on the carriage. I think.
Yeah, the carriage
Yeah, I
is what
think
they
they-
stopped.
With the dialogue.
And there was a bunch of guys. I forgot how many guys he said in the beginning, but there was a group of men.
And why is Magoichi getting into a handheld carriage when they just killed everyone who might carry it? And also, he walked here, so it's not like he got here in that. That's very confusing.
That's a good point. A bald man with a red ribbon tied around his arm By the way, this is in an exterior sake bar. Collapses on the floor mats, exhausted. 3 sour-faced whores stare at him. Their loose kimonos hang off their shoulders, revealing their assets. Well, this is I'm sorry, interior sake bar. Okay. Well, this sounds like a sake bar I wouldn't mind visiting. We need Goto.
Sake, and you girls there, come over here. Don't be shy now. Come to Goto.
He gestures for the prostitutes to come over, but they just stare in disgust. So he produces some coins, scatters them across the table. They quickly clamber over to him. Their sour faces turn to broad smiles and pouting lips. Sorry, I was attacked.
I was attacked. That's right. I was protecting Lord Oda's merchandise. You should have seen me. I killed 3 men. It's true. It's true.
The prostitutes rub his bald head and drape themselves over his arms. He downs another shot of sake, slams the cup down, only for a skinny prostitute to pour another. There we go.
Let it
Skinny
be
as opposed to the
knows.
other ones.
Yeah.
Let it be knows that Goto is no coward, but there were just too many, even for me.
Poor Goto. Does this feel better?
That was the scene. Exterior. The mustache aftermath.
That's
Massacre. The massacre aftermath. Dusk. Magoichi lines up the girls from the carriage and carefully inspects their faces. Shy, the first girl stares at her feet. He places his index finger under her chin and gently raises her head. Her eyes are brown.
Continuity note, it was midday during the fight scene. Did he literally sit there in the carriage with nobody could pull for 7 hours?
That would be a very interesting artistic choice.
I remember, I think the carriage had girls in it, so he probably was the one pulling it.
That's not how those things work. They've got handles on both sides.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember back to the first scene. I'm pretty sure it did say that the carriage was full of girls.
Yeah, a palanquin, which is a handheld carriage. You need at least 2 people to carry it.
All right, so Brown.
The second girl meets his gaze, silent, has a defiant-looking face, but her eyes are also brown.
You wouldn't have happened upon a girl whose eyes are the color of the ocean.
Like Lake Erie.
No, sir.
Defiant girl, secret assassin babe.
Never, but I hear such things exist.
Go on.
Man, I keep getting all this blocks of dialogue.
Yeah.
In Lord Oda's gambling house, he collects such rare traits, beauties, and oddities alike.
Need a shy girl.
Oh, he's not going to take us back, is he?
I have no choice in the matter. If the demon Lord Odo was to find out I was in possession of his property, he would demand an audience with my head, and it wouldn't be attached to my body.
Enter motel room night, fast asleep. Goto snores. Magoichi gently kicks the sleeping Goto. Nothing, so he kicks a little harder. Goto wakes up with a snort.
Oh,
Goto.
It's you.
Yes, it's me. I take it you made a big performance.
Yes, I enjoyed myself, thank you. Why complain? That's what you told me to do, and besides, it's one of my many talents. I held out my end of the bargain. How did you do? Did you find the blue-eyed beauty?
No, afraid not.
So there goes my reward.
Our reward. And no, not quite. I have a new plan. See, I have Lord Odo's slaves.
With you now? Oh, so smart, Magoichi. So tell me, what's the new plan? I'm pretty sure questions have like a special bit of punctuation that goes after them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely should close with a question mark. I mean,
So that
just,
was definitely not a hentai.
yeah, I gotta say, lives
I
up
don't
to
know
its
why you're
title.
so surprised. It says so in the
It
title.
clearly said not a hentai,
I
and
figure when
know
you
what?
say it's not a hentai, that means it is, and he's just telling you.
I mean, why say it's not if it's not? Like,
I know. It's kind of-
were we expecting? It's not like a hentai stream where it's like must be a hentai to, you
Right.
know. This is Preston's stream, not mine.
So anyway, yes, we had not a hentai. We had a samurai. We had a samurai doing some violence. He was fighting people. I'm not sure exactly over what, but there was definitely fighting. There was a lot of trash talking. Samurai wandered around, desired female companionship, and drink. So, hooray.
Yep, my take on it is the guy Magoichi's looking for this girl with the blue eyes. He set those other guys up to attack some dudes that he thought he had. The girl who were pulling the carriage. They ended up not having him, and then he killed them all anyway, probably to leave no trace. And now he's back with some other dude that also likes girls.
Yeah, this very much seems like an Ocean's 11 samurai, whatever.
There we go. That's an unusual combination.
It is an unusual combination.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see it being
hard
like
to
an
follow.
animation.
Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly.
I know it's the beginning, so this isn't actually a problem, but this was quite hard to follow. I know that you're drawing this yourself, so it's not a big deal if it doesn't really make sense to you, but like a bunch of characters pop in and out of nowhere, which is really confusing. We don't know where we are. We don't know how far away where we are is from wherever the heck this bad guy is. Or really like the scene with Goto, like that just doesn't. I don't see why it has to be there. So yeah, like structurally, if you're doing an Ocean's 11 plot, the fun part is laying out the plan, showing what that's going to look like, and then showing us what it actually looks like when things don't go according to plan, and then watching people improvise. That's what that story structure looks like. And that wasn't really happening here, so I'm really confused. And actually, we seem to be a Yojimbo story in a low-rent gangster plot, which is fine. But whatever relationship Magoichi has with the evil bandits is also super unclear, because he's killing bandits, but he's also a bad guy, and then he's killing the guards too in order to get the whip. Why is any of this happening?
I didn't get the Ocean's 11 thing because it didn't seem like they're trying to steal anything.
Well, Goto
Did you
was
guys-
talking about a plan by the end, so that's where I figured it might be going.
Did you guys hear my previous comment? Because I kind of like the stream cut out on me.
Tell us more.
Oh, so like what I got from that is he's looking for the girl with the blue eyes, and he sent those mercenaries out to rob the carriage of those other guys. And then after, when he found out she wasn't there, he killed them as well, and he gave them fake gold and then took it back. And then he took the carriage full of girls back to the other dude who hangs out with the prostitutes.
Yes.
Well,
all those things happen.
He killed them, and then he found out the girl wasn't there.
Yeah, also true.
Right, but I think he set them up because he gave them the fake gold. So he sent them out to chase down the carriage full of girls. They killed the guys and were looting the bodies, and then he came over and then killed them. So it was like a setup, and then he killed the evidence or whatever. You know,
all I'm going to say is there's certainly a lot of interesting elements, right? There's a lot of interesting elements here.
Well, it kind of did, like through what it explained. I understood it, and I like how the scenes were like doing the cut scenes like an animation would.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming this is a like animated, series or whatever.
Did you not notice the word balloon stuff? This is meant to be a comic.
No, I think it's an animation because the animations have the word balloons in them a lot of times.
No, they don't. They have people talking.
Well, sometimes they do. Yeah, I don't know, maybe not, but I the way I was understanding it, this is like an animation. Or anime, I guess that's what that's called, right?
And any other constructives we want to hand out? All right. Well, there you go.
Anya has nothing.
Overall, I thought the story was interesting. But I do agree that it was a little confusing. Part of it with how it's written. Which, if Danny's correct, and I didn't know if the guy is actually drawing it himself, then if you are drawing it yourself, then that fixes a lot of. Hopefully, the issues that of it being confusing will be corrected, like Danny said. But at least as far as when you present, I think definitely trying to think more. If you have an idea in your head of what it's going to look like, at least give us paragraphs per panel. Even if you're going to write it more like an action scene or like a screenplay where there's 5 or 6 actions in that panel, you got in your head what it's going to look like. At least for us, give us 1 paragraph per panel if you're not going to actually break out what panel is what frame, or what panel, this is panel 1, this is panel 2. If you're not going to do that, at least give us a paragraph for what you think. Okay, panel 1 is going to communicate X. Give us that in a paragraph, and then just think that way. It'll make all of us. We will understand what we're reading better, which will allow us to provide you better feedback.
My constructives would be, if it's a comic, it needs some captions. If it's animation, it needs those captions as narration to also explain better what's happening. Like, Miyoshi killed the guys, and now he heads back to the town to meet up with Grotto or whatever. Something like that. Either captions or narration, depending if it's a comic or an anime.
All right. Are we ready for Blood Feud?
Let's go.
Sure, let's do it.
Everyone loves vampires.
I mean, who doesn't love vampires? Kyler, you want to do
I'll
the
do it.
honors here?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Interior, Artemis's apartment, master bedroom, nighttime. A baby COOS.
Coos.
A baby coos.
Like
Eminent.
babies,
From a monitor resting next to Artemis as she sleeps beside her husband.
It should be baby coos emanate from a monitor, but
You are correct.
yeah.
You do not believe how difficult it was to word that paragraph.
Okay. Which is a single sentence.
A baby monitor rests near Artemis as she sleeps beside her husband. Coos emanate from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
I got it, babe. Sleepy.
Interior, child's bedroom, night. Artemis approaches the child about 4 years old. Bet as he continues fussing, she picks up holding him to her chest.
Shh. They're there.
Bobbing side to side, she pats his back, calming him. Suddenly, the child's eyes go wide and demonic, with massive sharp teeth bites down hard into Artemis's neck, sending out a geyser of blood.
John, did you misspell month YEARS?
Wait, what?
Have you seen a 4-year-old human? They are not babies.
What?
That like they're basically acting like they're caring for an infant, monitoring. With a baby monitor, they got to get up and they gotta, like Artemis is waking up in the middle of the night, regarding the cooing of a child that she's going to see to. Danny is pointing out it's not appropriate that child would be 4.
Yeah, agreed. A 4-year-old will be running around climbing out of a crib.
I mean, a 4-year-old. Yes.
Probably would have bashed the crib to bits by now.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Under 2 if it's like needing a baby monitor for sure. Probably like under 1.
Enter your children.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah,
narrating.
abrupt cut to.
Oh yes, sorry. We are abruptly cutting. Hold on.
Sorry about that, guys.
Interior Artemis's apartment, master bedroom, dusk. Artemis bolts awake, instinctively grabbing the pistol from the nightstand and covering all points of the room. Feeling the warmth from the setting sun stretching over her skin relaxes her. Returning the pistol to the nightstand, she climbs off the bed toward the balcony window, taking a deep breath. Exterior, Holy Mother of God, night. This once old Gothic cathedral, now a seedy vampire strip club. The original stained glass windows have been painted over in black. The large circular window replaced with a nun bent over, spreading her ass cheeks. Underneath
Hashtag
the
not
window,
a hentai.
yeah, hashtag not a. Underneath the window in neon letters, Holy Mother. 2 young women in sexy nun outfits stand outside, beckoning to passengers by.
Confess your sins to the Holy Sisters.
Penance can be attained. Confessionals available now.
I feel like this was inspired by the LA Dodgers Pride Month.
Nick sparks the police charger on the street out front. Interior police charger, nighttime. Nick stares at the 2 strippers salivating.
I can't believe we're actually going inside.
Listen, in the last 5 years, this place has become the largest independent dispensary in the city. Not everyone patronizing it is loyal to Empire. Try not to do anything stupid.
Outside, they both exit the vehicle, walk up the steps toward the door where they are stopped by a bouncer. They show their badges.
We need to speak with your proprietor.
The bouncer taps his earpiece.
It's the night watch. Yes, ma'am. Go inside. She will meet you at the bar.
The bouncer steps aside so Decker and Nix can enter. Interior, Holy Mother of God Sanctuary, night. The sanctuary, a large open area room, has several posh chairs and couches set around the stage. On stage, a gender-bent orgasm BDSM-esque portrayal of Christ's passion. Barmaids dressed as sexy nuns mill about between patrons serving drinks. That definitely is the Dodgers thing.
I feel like I may have inspired John on this one a little bit. I'm not sure. Anyway.
As they enter, Nix grins ear to ear at the debauchery on display. Decker scans the crowd, remaining on alert.
Who's me? Yeah, go wait by the bar. I'm going to look around.
But
you might be watch, but but you are not
you're right.
Aiken. Wait by the bar.
Nix rolls his eyes, moving toward the bar.
Fine.
The bartender, dressed as a nun in bondage gear with her titties out, approaches him smiling.
What can I get for you, warm blood?
She smiles a toothy grin, showing off her vampire fangs. He shows his badge.
Night watch. In that case, it's on the house.
Whiskey, neat, but make it the good stuff.
Come up right up, morsel.
As the bartender pours the drink, she taps a button under the bar with her foot. She passes the glass to him.
Have a good time.
Nick sips the drink, turns to take in the surroundings when another nun stripper approaches him.
Hello, sinner.
Nick grins, checking her out up to down.
I am just full of sinful thoughts tonight.
You must attend a confessional with me. to cleanse your soul.
She takes Nick's hand, leading him toward the back of the room, toward the confessionals. Decker walks along the wall, continuing to scan the crowd. Part co-ed swingers club, part nightclub. Colored strobe lights flash to incessant beat of the music. An older vampire, Ether, appearing 50s, graying hair but fit, in a professional pantsuit, approaches him.
You must be the night.
There we go.
Go ahead.
Okay, John.
I am. Then we got Ether.
John, are we doing that? Are you doing this or am I?
You can do it.
I am called Ether. Welcome to my establishment. To what do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
We're conducting a routine inspection of the dispensaries.
Of course, and don't worry about your partner. We are taking very good care of him.
Confessional. The nun stripper pushes Nix back into the chair. She leans over, kissing him. Her bare breasts hang down like massive udders. Nix reaches up, grabbing and squeezing them.
Oh, aren't you a naughty boy?
She runs her hands down the crotch, unzipping his pants. Nix leans back as the nun stripper goes down on him. Storage room. Wooden crates lay organized on steel shelves lining the walls of the storage room. Hawk, a young vampire appearing late teens, early 20s, stands with a tablet inventorying their crates as Ether and Decker enter.
I gotta say, this feels very much like a John Lamont script.
You're just saying that because it's a John Lamont script.
I mean, like a lot of action taking place in a bar with sexual.
He is pretty characteristically Lamont, yeah.
Yeah.
We receive 2 deliveries from Jefferson a week.
We
This
missed a
covers
paragraph.
both the club and yes. Hawk, be a dear and provide our friend from the watch a copy of the delivery manifest.
Hawk swipes on the tablet to another app before handing Decker the tablet.
Hell yeah.
We receive 2 deliveries from Jefferson a week. This covers both the club and the dispensary quota.
Damn right it does.
Decker?
Has there been uptick at the dispensary?
Nope. Trends have been pretty steady. We would have increased our orders otherwise.
Decker swipes through the reports on the tablet.
Very good. Thank you for time. You have 15 minutes to release my partner.
I think his release is entirely dependent on him. Why don't you have a drink and relax a little?
You have 12 minutes.
That line of dialogue did not take 3 minutes, John.
No, but
But it's a comic, so I guess
he's arbitrarily altering the deal.
Oh, I see.
I have altered the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
All right.
Decker seemed
that
to
was
say.
not obvious.
All right.
Outside, Decker stands leaning against the police charger, waiting for Nix to exit the club. Nix, flushed and grinning like a schoolboy, approaches Decker, who scowls at him.
If the church I grew up in was like that, I never would have left.
I told you to wait by the bar.
Oh, come on. What's the worst that could happen?
Nix and Decker get into the car. Inside the car, Nix starts the engine.
You're just jealous they didn't offer you a free confessional.
They did.
Right. But you go home smelling like another woman, your blood surf would kill you.
Don't shit where you eat, Nix. And don't fraternize with those not loyal to the Empire.
Interior clock tower, night. Ether stands in the clock tower, staring out the window, watching as Decker and Nix drive down the street out of sight. Hawk enters.
Apparently, our friends at the watch visited Jefferson asking to see the logs.
We knew cutting off the dispensaries was a risk.
I had hoped we would have more time before the watch started sniffing around. But alas, we must accelerate our timetable. Go to Jefferson, drain the farm, Bring everything they have here.
It's not going to be enough blood for the ritual.
It doesn't matter. We're now on borrowed time. Either she wakes or we are all dead.
I will see it done.
All right. Like I said, that's. I feel like this is genuinely John Lamont. The only thing it's missing is a vagina gun. I feel like that could really spice stuff up. But
Well, we don't know how this issue ends yet.
exactly. I was just gonna say it's still kind of early. You know, like this is.
This is only about the first half of issue 2.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we had vampires and boobs. It's what else could you possibly want, Kyler?
Yeah, I thought it was good. Lots of boobs, lots of stripper nuns, lots of action. The only thing I was thinking, just like story wise, though, is like if it's a club for vampires, wouldn't they be drinking blood and not whiskey?
Nyx is not a vampire.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then. Because I was thinking he would have got like a blood and vodka or something.
No, yeah, they do that. That's a little bit later. But for the vampires, but the vampires usually have human helpers, and sometimes they have human patrons that go. So
Also, like half the strippers are vampires and half of them are not.
no, all the strippers are vampires. Half the patrons are typically not necessarily vampires.
Danny.
This was very successfully a John Lamont scene in a strip club.
On a scale of Demonatrix to Angel of Darkness 3, where do we want to rate this one?
I don't know, like 10% more Demonatrix.
There we are.
Yeah, that is true. Like Angel of Darkness is tame compared to this.
Yes.
But this always was my borderline NC-17 script. So
Okay. I mean, I would say one of them, but not all of them. You always are like, where's the line on sexual content? Okay, I'm gonna snuggle that line just as close as possible.
that is exactly what this is. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you approach comic books the way Larry Flint approached nude photography. All right, that's all I'm saying. Like, where's the line?
Yes.
I'm gonna walk right up to that. So,
Yes.
Anyway, yeah.
Yes.
So I definitely like this better than the original script. I know I missed the first part of this one too. But yeah, like compared to the old Blood Feud version, I think this is definitely a step up. It's a lot more entertaining and intriguing and more titties. So that's always a plus too.
Hooray for titties.
Well, this scene was in the original one. It just was like at page 50.
Yeah.
And now it's issue 2.
You know, our first
Oh,
guy.
right. There was some plot in this. Yeah, that was good.
There was plot too.
Yeah.
Massive plot hanging down like udders.
Our first writer, who wrote the Not a Hentai Story, said that Danny was absolutely the most forthcoming with any kind of constructive notes. So, Danny, if anybody has any idea about how this story could possibly be improved, I'm not sure it can be. I think this is like
what this one, John's.
Yes.
I mean, he could make the scene less boring.
Oh, okay. I mean,
now
it had vampires, boobs, and blowjobs. I mean, come on.
I will say that like 60% of this scene is quite good, and the 40% I don't like is partially because it reads like every other John Lamont strip club scene.
It is a very John Lamont script. Yes. Like,
This is the most John Lamont. Anything that we've read by John Lamont has been in quite a long time.
Yeah.
I forgot how boring his strip club scene.
Oh, Danny comes out of the corner just swinging. All right.
Not a vampire hentai.
All right.
So okay.
How could he make it? How could he make it more exciting as far as you're concerned?
Don't have Nyx dwell on it. It's weird. Like it's a strip club. He lives in New Orleans. he works for the vampire police. If he hasn't been to a strip club, and even if this is his first one, yeah, like that reaction is just weird. That's like the sort of reaction a 14-year-old would have. And although that's the expected age of your reader, possibly, it doesn't really land story-wise after the very serious police drama we just had with fucking corpses everywhere. So that was weird. And then that bit with the bartender just went on for way too long. Like, just get him into the lap dance booth quickly, ignore the bartender, and just like get on with it.
Okay.
And then like you're gonna have a whole bunch of establishing shots of and whatever. I mean, shit. Have Decker like try and find where the boss man is by going around like the back rooms or whatever. Like, they're the police. Like, if you want to show more tits, there's other ways to do it. And then, yeah, the actual plot stuff was interesting if first drafty. But I did nearly forget it was there, which is not a good sign.
I would say maybe too he doesn't go into the private dance area and he just like goes wild and they have like pull him on stage.
Oh, sorry, sweetie. I love your massive udders, but actually I'm at work right now.
I was gonna say he just like goes completely wild, like dancing with him on stage or something, instead of just going to the back room.
Yeah. What if the bartender spikes his drink? Give us something interesting. That's what I thought was going on almost for a bit. I don't know. So yeah, like some of this is I have read so many of your strip club scenes that I'm tired of it. So like take these notes at like 60% strength.
I feel like it could use an alluvian pillory, you know, like
yes, actually,
yeah,
it could.
It could. That would help. Certainly, you know, add a little bit of novelty to it. But yeah, I mean, you know, for me, it's like the scene possibly could be cut. I don't, you know, I mean, look, we get the obvious. We get blowjobs and boobs, but I think you could put blowjobs and boobs in all kinds of scenes. I don't know that we necessarily.
We can put this scene on the cover.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, we could put this scene on the cover.
So I'm cool with this scene being on the cover. Like, I can see what's going on here. That was not. Yeah, sorry, I'm interrupting you, Preston. My bad.
Quite all right. Yeah, and if we account for, you know, the fact that we're going to have naughty and nice covers telling the interesting, titillating part of this story, then do we really need that many pages for it, or do we even need it at all? I don't know.
Well,
yeah, you got to cater to your reader.
And that there's summoning an evil vampire goddess, but we're now in issue 2, and you haven't given us, aside from ooh, they're vampires, like any details on how these people actually like eat, or what something like this would do for the community. So that could be an option. Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, I've read so many of yours, and I feel like you keep using the same structure for your strip club scenes. So this is really coloring my opinion of them. But yeah, it was just, there was a bunch of nothing happens, like them talking outside, nothing happens. A guy talking to the bartender, nothing happens. Decker goes to the back and learns something that is sort of okay, fine, something happens. And then, you know, 20 minutes later, oh, are the police gone yet? Yes, now we can summon the evil vampire goddess. Maybe have the interview happen in the room where they're trying to summon the vampire goddess, and someone like quickly puts a fucking like rug over top of the magic circle or something. Like, so that way, if anyone reads this a second time, they'll be rewarded. I don't know. Like, the people there didn't seem like they were hiding anything during that conversation, so that needs some editing for sure.
Yeah, I think it depends what you're trying to accomplish with it. If you're we just want it to be a fun story with boobs and blood, then we definitely accomplish that. But I do agree with Danny that, if you're trying to be more of like a serious comic book where the reader is going to enjoy the plot and everything, that it needs a little more action and story.
Tyler, Porque no less dos. Yeah, like I feel like show us that these guys are hiding something, that they're being sinister, or like explain, why are they not part of the Empire? Like that actually is a thing that needs more explaining. Because I mean, this place is like really out there too. Like it's very visual, so yay, but also it's very visual. So normal people are going to this place is not subtle, right? So how is it doing what it's doing in a way that it's doing it while also flaunting the Vampire Society rules is actually maybe a way to explain what's going on here, where there's some drama or whatever, as you can explore all of the naked tits you want to put inside your book.
All right. Let's take a look at Alien Pterodactyls numero dos.
All
Which,
right.
by the way,
This is not an alien hentai.
yeah. Dos
I
is
will narrate
Spanish
this.
for number 2. Okay.
Panel 1, establishing shot. Hebby, whoever that is, wearing only underwear, lays on her side in a large ornate bed inside the cave lair of the Snake Syndicate. Her large perky breasts are out and her hair down, blowing around her neck and shoulders.
There's a John Lamont
What is
contagion.
wrong with you people? Above her,
I can't see the script.
a large banana python
You
crawls
can't?
along the headboard.
Let me exit and I'll come back. Hang
Okay.
on.
All right.
TL caption, whatever that means. The first Ritter's bedroom, deep within the Snake Syndicate hideout. Panel 2, view over the shoulder of the first rider, Snake Syndicate leader, in the lower left of the frame, looking upward, staring at Hebby half naked in bed.
Finally, I've been waiting here forever. Now get over here and satisfy my desires.
I'm out of the Trank serum. Did you make more like I requested?
Panel 3, close up of Hebby, still laying in bed, breasts still out.
These what are we gonna do with these massive tits that just refuse to be covered? I don't know.
Looking annoyed.
Yeah.
I just finished cooking up a new batch. It's on my altar under the goddess statue.
Panel 4, 2/3 angle shot. Okay. What the hell does that mean?
I don't know.
Anyways, of the first rider grabbing a large circular bottle off Heavy's altar. Small bottles, loose herbs, a cauldron, and other potion-making supplies surround the bottle. Fucking cauldron? Okay. In the center of the altar sits a large stone statue of the goddess Venus.
Going Greco-Roman.
No, the Venus is just Roman.
Oh, you're right. You're going
Man's
Roman.
Aphrodite in Greek.
Yeah. Enough of that goddess worship mumbo jumbo.
Kyler said he was back, by the way.
Oh, shit. All right.
View of the first rider walking out of the room with the syrup bottle in hand.
Fuck you! You know, the secrets of that potion were revealed to me by the goddess. One day you'll pay for disrespecting her power.
Wait, that was all one page?
Yes.
That was
Five-
your first page.
1 page, 5
Yeah.
panels.
That's a lot of tits in a lot of panels for the first page. You should have.
You know what? Wait,
more
wait.
tits.
I think you may have a pull quote for issue 2. Just put a pull quote. That's a lot of tits, Danny. Come on.
In one page. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He's pushing.
Did I beat John's titty count?
He's exploring the theoretical maximum of how many breasts per panel.
I thought that was my job.
Yeah.
Page 2. Panel 1. Overlaying
we have-
nothing. So it's just
How-
panel 1, Kyler.
How do we have
Well-
3 panel ones?
No, well, because they're all inside one panel.
There we go. It's like fractal.
Okay. Page 2. Panel.
Panelception.
Yeah.
It's whatever. This is probably undrawable. Close up of the first rider's hand holding a syringe, drawing the trank serum from the bottle. Okay. Panel 2. Close up of the syringe being injected in the hind quarter of a baby pterodactyl. Panel 3. Wide shot of the baby pterodactyl laid down on a large rock slab table. Is it a rock slab or is it a table? Make up your mind. Pterodactyl wears a leather hood over its head. Wings and back legs are chained to posts in the corners of the cave room. A long chain can be seen dangling from a collar around the baby's neck. Panel 4? Is that 4 or 5?
I think it's 4 now.
Okay, 4. Side view of the first rider fucking the baby pterodactyl. Whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Pterodactyl is struggling, and rightly so. Moving on.
We had to interrupt the boobs to bring you some bestial sodomy.
Yeah,
Anyway.
this is hentai.
Yeah.
Who's first rider?
And I'll give you a pull quote. Way more degenerate than John Lamont. There we go. First writer. I am your master. You will obey my commands. What it's even edgier that these are the good guys. There we go. The ass raping, gene manipulating good guys. Here we go.
Side shot from opposite side of the room's perspective. The room has eyes? Okay. Heavy can be seen walking to the scene looking pissed off. First rider, seen still dominating the beast. Heavy now wears tight latex dominatrix suit, lots of cleavage, whatever. Bell boots, hair up in a... She braided her hair? Okay. Her banana python wrapped around one of her arms with its head by her hand.
Now I'm imagining like a marketing blurb. Boobs on every page.
Counterpoint, those boobs were naked on literally the previous page. Also, she had time to braid her hair in between those 2 pages.
Well, maybe it takes a while to fuck a pterodactyl.
Look, this story moves in time from breast to breast.
No, that's a full quote.
There you go.
Write with 2 hands next time, Kyler.
The assault group is bah. You'd rather fuck that monster than me. What the hell is wrong with you? That's what all the readers want to know.
Yes. Shut it, bitch. You know this is the only way to show them dominance. And you have to break them before they get too big. Now leave me be. I'll be out when I'm finished with this one's training.
I need a shower. Panel 6.
This is somewhat reminiscent of Avatar, but like way rapier.
Panel 6, I think. Full body shot of Heavy from behind as she walks out of the room. Her ass looks amazing and her tight latex is sweet.
The absolute theoretical maximum. There we go.
Page 3. Frank Bagger talking into his walkie-talkie.
Abraxas Comics. If it's not DNA, we don't draw it.
We can't risk another pterodactyl attack or ambush. Put a few scouts in the air.
Panel 2. 3 militia members are now in the air. hanging from parasails attached to the back of a large truck by rope. One of the militia is Priscilla. They all have large machine guns in their hands, goggles on, and binoculars around their neck. Panel 3, overlaying nothing. Close-up of Priscilla hanging from her parasail, gun in one hand, binoculars in the other, hand held up at her eyes, looking like a badass ready for war.
Hell yeah.
Panel 4. The first rider walks the baby pterodactyl out on its chain lease from behind a large throne carved from the stone. Why is there a font size change? Standing beside the throne stands Heavy, still in her tight latex suit. The baby Okay, can you see a font size change there, or am I like a crazy person?
There is.
I don't
It does
think
look.
Okay,
It
cool.
does look like a font size change, but I think it could be from the conversion to PDF. From
Either way, it went back after one line, so I was just super vexed.
yeah, I think there's something with the way that his software exported this to PDF. I think it kind of messed up how it drew the text. That would be my guess.
Right. The baby pterodactyl no longer wears the hood over its head and seems lethargic from the tranquilizer serum. Tongue out. Back in Snake Syndicate hideout. Panel 5. The first right. Can you spell his name consistently? Jesus.
Yeah,
I
I would
know.
prefer.
Sits on
And
his throne.
with capitals too. You did the same thing with Dagger. You didn't capitalize his last name.
And also, you're spelling pterodactyl wrong now, or whatever for your book. Anyways, his baby pterodactyl chained up beside him. Heavy stands at his side. In front of the throne stands the 3 riders from the ambush, seen from behind.
Oh,
I thought they were all dead.
They were very dead. They were so dead.
No, there's 3 guys that flew away with Emilio.
We don't remember
Yes.
them.
Yeah,
All we remember are the dead ones.
Well, there was someone who escaped and captured some guy. There was a moment of, they got that guy.
Right. My point is that we don't remember them, so we wouldn't know these 3 riders from
Any
the
other
Riders of
two
Rohan. We just wouldn't recognize. Like, it's just 3 other guys. Like,
Well,
unless your artist is that good.
Okay, but they are about to announce in dialogue that they're the ones who captured the guy.
Yes. The leader of the bunch holds a chain attached to Emilio's collar. Emilio on all fours, hanging his head low. Didn't we see this scene in the last issue?
We did.
No.
I mean,
we haven't seen this.
We saw a functionally identical scene in the last issue.
Like
you saw him dragging him into the cave, but now he's
functionally identical
before the leader.
Okay. Well,
take me to your leader.
And they took him to his. Are they stupid?
We captured this one in the ambush.
Oh, you missed one line.
What spoils do you have for me?
We captured this one in the ambush.
Where are the rest of them, and what happened to our men? It's raining men.
Page 4, panel 1. From the first rider's perspective, looking at the 3 riders from Ambush and Emilio.
This is the only one we were able to capture. Our other men were killed in the action.
They should have got bullets.
They did forget the bullets.
They really did. Close up of the first rider, now standing in front of his throne, clearly enraged.
You fool! You lost 3 of our men and only captured 1 slave. Your incompetence will not go unpunished. Well, we know what's going to happen next. Anyway.
Butt raping?
3. 4 large Snake Syndicate guards wearing heavy armor seize the 3 riders from the ambush and Emilio at spear point. Is your caps lock button broken?
Or a shift button, rather.
2 pits with them all.
Yes, to pits with them. Panel 4. A wide shot of the underground cave dungeon. There are large cages inside the cave walls with various chains hanging from the walls and a few torture racks. Some chains have men hanging from them, others empty. Within the cage closest to the viewer is Emilio, who is not important enough to justify a capital letter on his name. Page 5, panel 1. Heavy walks through the dungeon in her sexy latex outfit.
You're damn
carrying
right
a
she
tray of
does.
food. Panel 2. Heavy, standing outside of Emilio's cage, hands him the tray of food.
Damn
It
right
looks-
she does.
The shift button's working again. Eat up.
He
You're
was
going to
definitely typing with only one hand.
eat up. You're going to need your strength tonight if you wish to survive. You'll be tested in the fighting pits tonight with the others. If you're lucky enough to survive, you'll be given the opportunity to join our ranks.
I'll never join you.
See,
No, I am your father.
I don't see how that fight's going to involve TNA or sodomy, so it almost seems like a scene that's superfluous, but we'll see.
If you're holding your breath for option B, it's still a possibility. Panel 3. Emilio reluctantly takes the tray of food.
We aren't as different as you may think.
I mean, how is the reader going to know that? Because this character didn't have any lines in the previous book.
Emilio didn't have any lines, and Heavy didn't exist in the previous issue. And all we know about these guys is that they're beasts.
He had one screaming line. He said, "Ah!" That was his one line.
Panel 4. Yeah, that gave him a lot of character. Way to go. He's so memorable. Panel 4. Close up of Heavy from the waist up. Breasts bulging from her blah, 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 blah.
We are all just trying to survive here. Our two tribes have taken a much different approach to the same problem. Yours to try and eradicate the monsters, while we've chosen to embrace them, tame them, fuck them in the ass, and use them to raise our status in what's left of this world. I'm just like you, merely a servant at the mercy of my leader, who doesn't fuck me in the ass. The orders you followed blindly led to your capture and imprisonment. While I may be on the other side of the cage, I am also a captive, a prisoner of circumstance, a captive with a longer reach and more freedoms.
Boy, this guy's got a lot to say.
How much ecstasy did she take?
This is like a fever dream after you pass out from watching too much porn. Anyway.
Close up of Emilio, now looking intrigued.
Why don't you just leave? Surely you aren't trapped here. Your prison is only in your head.
What is happening? Panel 6. Full body shot of Heavy, blah, 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 blah.
Even if I could leave, where would I go? There's not another settlement for hundreds of miles. Even if I managed to survive, he would hunt me down.
Panel 2. Emilio in his cage, starting to eat from the tray.
Oh, yeah.
My people would protect you. We can escape together.
Hell yeah.
And why do we care about either of these characters
We
in
don't.
Escape?
We
Okay.
don't. Save it for the crits.
None of that
3,
will
waist up shot of Heavy talking.
none of that will matter unless you survive the pits tonight. I'll do what I can to ensure you make it through. Stick to the right side of the pits, and I'll handle the rest.
Why should he trust her? They just met, right? Am I missing
Yes.
something?
Yes.
Yes, they just met.
Okay. Jesus.
Really weird.
You missed the boobs and the intriguing look because you skipped over it.
As I said, this story moves from exposed boob to exposed boob.
Yeah. Anyways, panel 4. Heavy in the section of the cave that houses the pterodactyl cages. She injects the. Oh God, is she going to sodomize the pterodactyl? I don't want to. Okay.
There we
She
go.
tranquilizes a pterodactyl. Way to go. Page 7. Okay, well, we're at page 7. We're over the hump easy. All right, let's go. Panel 1. Dagger's
hold on.
convoy
Wait.
now is
All right.
circled up in the empty desert near the edge of a rocky cliff.
Hold on, John.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're on page 7. We got 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we got what 7, 8. That's 4 pages. How many exposed breasts on the next 4 pages? What do we think?
Better be an odd number, John.
I'll say 3.
3. Okay. All right, 3. All right.
But only because
Panel
Danny
2.
said odd number. Otherwise, I was going to say at least one per page.
I'm gonna go with 1. I'm gonna lowball it. I'm gonna go with 1. John's gonna go with 3. We'll see what happens.
I'm gonna go with 8.
Okay.
Exposed, not references to.
I mean, I will also accept just massive shots of cleavage, barely restrained.
Okay.
Panel 2, which is somehow labeled panel 1 again.
Oh yeah.
Bram seen holding a small screen with an antenna attached. The screen indicates they are right above the signal.
It appears the signal is directly below us. Emilio must be underground, inside the caves. I suggest you search for an entrance.
Damn right.
Panel 2. Dagger standing on the edge of the cliff, looking over, talking with Lizzie.
We can't risk using the climbing gear in broad daylight and leaving our troops exposed on the edge of the canyon.
Agreed. So what's the plan then?
We'll wait for the cover of night and send down a small recon team.
Panel 3. Now nighttime. A team
Wow.
of 4 soldiers are rappelling. That's not how you spell rappelling. Down the side of the canyon. They wear climbing gear and harnesses. The view seen from inside the canyon, looking up at the soldiers rappelling down. The side of the canyon appears solid with no cave entrances. Well, that's weirdly specific.
It should go without saying this is a stealth mission, so keep a low profile, boys. We're looking for a cave entrance. If you spot any way inside, I want to know immediately.
Panel 4. Soldier 1, still wearing his full climbing gear, back on top of the cliff debriefing Dagger and Lizzie.
There's nothing here. The only thing we found were more rocks. If there's an entrance to the caves, it's not in this section of the canyon. We'll need more time to search a few miles in either direction. It may take us a few nights, but we'll find a way in.
We don't have that kind of time.
Do what you can tonight. Make sure you're topside before sunrise.
Fuck yeah.
Page 8. The convoy of vehicles are circled. There are several groups of tents with small fires and militia cooking and talking. There is one large group of soldiers around the barrel fire talking. Did they bring a barrel to set on fire? And drinking beers. Among the larger group is Lizzie, Dagger, and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Panel 2.
I mean, there's a lot of passives in this action description.
A Native American man, and you're not even doing that entire class of people the courtesy of capitalizing what you call them.
Dude doesn't know how shift button works.
Yeah.
Because he's not typing with all of his fingers.
There we go.
I don't know.
There
was an awful lack of boobs in the last channel. I think he
There
might
was. Yeah.
And wide-brimmed hat decorated with native-style beads walks towards the group from the distance. He carries a small oil lantern in one hand and a walking staff ornately decorated in the other. He carries a small leather backpack over one shoulder. Panel 3. The native shaman. Oh, he's a shaman now? Okay.
Yeah.
Now talks with one of the militia soldiers at the outskirts of their camp.
Wow. I seek counsel with your leaders. I have important information that will help you search for your missing tribesmen. And
Follow
I know this
me.
magically.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This feels like that terrible Chinese movie about like turning the Earth into a fucking spaceship.
Follow
Everyone
me.
talk to everybody, no matter where they are, constantly, and it's really annoying.
I
Follow
am your
me.
stereotypical Native American shaman. I know things because the clouds speak to me.
Panel 4. Shaman, which is his name now. Is this racist? I'm not comfortable with this.
That's
George,
exactly why I
George.
said what I just said.
Yeah. George sits fireside speaking with Dagger and Lizzie. Who's going to be George?
I'll be George.
Who's
George is not a shaman name.
Yeah, it is. His name is George now. If you
Oh,
wanted to give him a different name, you should have thought it through and not been racist.
I have been watching your people from a distance. You are seeking entrance into the Dragon Rider's cave to rescue a member of your tribe. I know another way into the caves, an ancient path from the time of my ancestors.
why would you help us? What's in it for you?
The Dragon Riders have overtaken our lands. They take what they want, including our women and children and the little resources we have. Your tribe looks strong enough to defeat them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pop in here with something that shaman is a title. It's like the equivalent of like
Yes.
priest.
Yes.
So calling him a
Yes.
title is not racist.
Yeah,
No,
but we're
I-
calling him George now.
I mean,
Okay. Anyway.
I'm okay with them being shaman.
We just want our men back, not all out war.
You look prepared for war to me. I can assist you in entry to their fortress. The rest is in your hands.
Okay, show us your secret entrance and we'll decide how to proceed next.
So far, I'm feeling pretty good about my John Lamont bet here.
Yeah, I'm actually feeling like you're definitely favored.
Yeah. Page 9, panel
Oh
1.
my god. All right. Dagger and Lizzie follow George through a narrow cave pass lit only by the dim oil lamp's light. Panel 2, establishing shot. A wide opening in the cave transformed into an arena. Members of the Snake Syndicate population sit and stand along the upper edge. The first rider sits in a prominent spot in the middle with Hebby by his side. In the
Yep,
center of
Heavy's
the
back. That means tits.
There we
yeah,
go.
but we
That,
wait till we
that
see
means
the spot,
Kyler's back
right?
for round 2.
There we go.
He
Let's see.
cleaned himself up, and now it's back to
Yeah, I'm
round
gonna
2.
count Hebby's appearance as tits.
Okay.
So we've got one pair of tits.
Okay.
This being the establishing shot. For some
Okay.
reason, it's on panel 2.
Yes.
Center of
What's
the
the new
arena
scene here?
are Chaina, several pterodactyls with just enough slack to move about the arena. To the far right side is the pterodactyl Heavy, previously tranquilized. There are several other obstacles, including spiked hurdles, a small wall, and bridge that must be crossed. There are spears, swords, and shields strewn about the pit. On the near side are Emilio and the other 3 imprisoned riders in a cell. A small spear lays on the ground near their cell. On the far side, an open door can be seen. Panel 3. The first riders, all of them, stands, just the one of them, to address the crowd.
For tonight's entertainment, we have a new captive and 3 incompetent soldiers who have failed our clan. Should they make it across the pit, they will find redemption. As always, there can only be one winner. May the odds be ever in your... Oh, let the strong survive.
Page 10. Panel 1. The cell door opens as all 4 men quickly exit, heading in their own direction quickly into the chaos that awaits them quickly. Emilio quickly is on the viewer's far left side quickly. Panel 2. Emilio's hand seen in a close-up picking up the small spear that the other 3 people didn't notice because they're idiots and they forgot their bullets last issue. Panel 3. Emilio hurls the spear with all his might at the Snake Syndicate member who was previously dragging him on a leash as he runs towards the center of the pit.
Rah!
Panel 4. The spear strikes the Snake Syndicate member in the back, piercing his body as blood explodes from the wound.
Oh, yeah.
Panel 5. A pterodactyl bites one of the other Syndicate members' head and shoulders off towards the left side of the pit. Panel 6. Emilio, now running on the right side of the pit, nearly avoids the snapping jaws of the tranquilized pterodactyl. Panel 7. The remaining Snake Syndicate member can be seen impaling himself as he tries to climb one of the spiked hurdles. The end.
I have to say that I was right about the
You were right.
There we go.
You front-loaded the breasts and the sexual assault.
Yeah. So.
And you back-loaded the racism.
There's no racism.
I wouldn't be too.
Okay, the racial stereotyping. Are you happy?
There we go.
It's not, well,
Anyway,
It's
look,
definitely
that's
racial
saying that-
stereotype.
that's like saying that John racial stereotyped the nuns, the Catholic community, in his thing by having nuns.
There's a big difference.
I wouldn't say that.
You want to guess what it is?
I mean, that's not an authentic portrayal of Catholics.
No, I would.
Yeah.
My portrayal is subversion.
I think it was a very
intentional.
accurate portrayal of a thing vampires might do.
Yes.
Want to know
yeah.
why yours is different, Kyler? Can you guess?
Tell me why.
Because people choose to be nuns.
Or
People
choose-
choose to be shamans too.
Or choose to be kinky, but anyway, look, it had a bunch of boobs. It had sodomy, some bestial overtones, if not outright.
Overtones.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
It had
That was the melody,
bestiality.
dude.
Yeah, it had bestiality, sodomy, certainly gratuitous boobs, at least like 6 panels worth.
It wasn't
Um,
also like a child pterodactyl.
Yeah.
Yes, which was going to be
So-
my comment.
Oh yeah.
That I am that much to the detractors that I may have, I am very uncomfortable with the term with sodomy and baby being in the same paragraph, the same
Well, it
sentence,
wasn't in the script,
or the
so it'll just
same.
be a drawing.
Well, sure, but okay.
Hold on,
Fine,
we're saying
fair enough.
nice things first, and then
Yes.
we're gonna.
Yes,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Nice things first.
So look, it certainly delivered what people would have expected from Alien Pterodactyls #1. You know, Alien Pterodactyls #1 set us up and said this story is about alien gene monsters in a post-apocalyptic setting that has gratuitous excuses for as much sex as we can possibly jam in there. And issue 2 is delivering. So good job. John.
Yes, yes, you have lived up to the explicit warning on the cover of your book,
Exactly.
which in issue 1 we were kind of saying that we didn't feel like you did. In issue 3, you have certainly
He took that as an absolute challenge.
Yes, yeah, you absolutely
we
did.
were like, we feel
Challenge-
like the adult comic is a bait and switch. Or challenge accepted. Challenge.
I told you guys to wait this issue too.
Achievement
There you go.
unlocked, sir.
Yeah.
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah, I agree. You definitely deliver everything on the cover on page 1.
And 2.
Anyway,
Well, it depends on what's on the cover for this one. He definitely delivers on page 1.
there's certainly going to be some Keith Garvey breasts. So there we go. I'm looking forward to. I'm just trying to get the master to visit me sometime. That's all I want right now. All right, constructive notes. You guys,
John, you were in the middle of a sentence.
go ahead, John.
I thought I had finished my sentence. Yes. Okay, I will reiterate my sentence. Yes, I'm very uncomfortable with the phrase baby and sodomy being together in any way, shape, manner, or form. And I don't care that it's not going to be in the final book. Call it a small pterodactyl for all I care. A diminutive pterodactyl. That's all I have to say about that.
Yep. This made me feel uncomfortable reading it. It seemed. And I can't
Did it
believe
make
I'm
you
saying
feel
this,
more
but-
uncomfortable than Vagina Gun?
Yes.
Yes. Who would have thought that
The
Vagina
vagina
Gun would ever
gun
be
was
up?
hilarious.
You know what? We have John Lamont's vagina gun. Now we have Kyler's baby son.
Yeah. This was not a pleasant start to a Mad Maxy book.
Yeah.
Although you deliver on page 1, you deliver something no one asked for on page 2. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens, which is loosely connected to what happened in issue 1. So I guess you got some continuity there, but that's not the main problem I have with this book right now. Preston?
I mean, I feel like you guys certainly did an excellent workup of why perhaps some of the gratuitous elements need to be censored a bit.
In terms of
To be
Sorry.
perfectly frank, is it even necessary?
No.
no,
Then it
It's
doesn't even
not.
need to be there. Like
I mean,
there are other
okay,
ways.
well, I feel like if I were Kyler, I would say, I want people to feel like they got the adult comic label that I put on the cover, right? So therefore, it's payload, right, or not?
Yeah, so I'm pushing the
Um,
bounds of what's acceptable, possibly, but I think it's a sci-fi world, post-apocalyptic. It's not promoting any of these themes; it's exploring them as reality. There's a lot of popular stuff out there that pushes on extremes, such as like Game of Thrones. Maybe not that extreme, but they have a lot of extreme stuff in there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there's
but
a lot of different.
even Game of Thrones, as subversive as it was intentionally trying to be, still knew where and what to cut.
yeah, there's a difference between being subversive and being in bad taste. And if you're not sure where that is, go watch Pink Flamingos. Which is hopefully a reference at least Preston will get. What I will say,
I've intentionally avoided that one.
yeah, that's legit. What, really?
Yeah,
It's really
I don't
funny.
even know what that is. So wow,
it's a John Waters picture.
I don't know who that is.
There
What?
you go.
Okay, anyways. He wrote Hairspray. Anyways, what I will say is once you get past the first 2 pages, the plot also kind of falls apart.
It does.
Very little has connection with what's going on. For some reason, Tit Girl just like immediately has whatever the hell is going on with drummer
She's a
guy.
woman scorned. That's what it is. Because that's what
John,
it is.
John, hold
Hell
on.
hath no
Hold on.
fury like a
Tyler
woman
laughed.
scorned.
So now I don't know if we should even give these notes. I mean, we should anyway, so it'll be in the recording.
Well,
right?
he's been having
Yeah.
internet issues, so he might have just dropped off.
Okay.
I don't think.
I don't think he left intention.
So, yeah, she like bears her soul to this guy she just fucking met over this weird arena scene that A is stupid and B doesn't even have a chariot race. I don't know why you don't have a chariot race when you have giant pterodactyls. What are you doing?
Oh yes,
Right?
That would be awesome.
Instead of a
Yes,
fucking
dude.
obstacle course with chariot, what are you doing?
Yeah,
and then-
chariot race with pterodactyls. Go
Yeah.
full Ben-Hur.
Or like a
go on.
pterodactyl riding contest.
They're
Like something
they're
dangerous.
proposing a pterodactyl pod race.
No,
You
know,
Ben-Hur.
I actually thought about something like
hold
that.
on a second. It's not your turn. And then the heroes from the previous issue are just fucking idiots hanging around on the side of a mountain, lighting fires in the post-apocalypse, making themselves incredibly visible to anyone who might be looking for them. Those people incidentally have superior air power because they can ride pterodactyls. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Wait, the
Then you
heroes
have
from
the
issue
racist
1.
stereotype who's more afraid of these people than the giant alien pterodactyls who are just eating people. Like, I thought you were trying to create a world with this in issue 1, but clearly you're not. And you're not paying off anything you set out. And instead, we're deep into this exploration of fucking can't bring bullets to a gunfight society for no good reason that I can think of. So, in addition to your moment of bad taste, whatever your prep was, you need to actually have this be a sequel to the book you actually finished, and not to the book that you imagined that you wrote in issue 1. So that's my note there. Like the plot, whatever is here has way too much going on, and none of it makes sense.
I'm gonna agree with that sentiment. Is that you need to write the sequel to what happened in issue 1. Because we don't get that. We have no emotional connection to Emilio. He's a red shirt from issue 1. We have no emotional connection to the Riders from issue 1. They're a bunch of red shirts. So, because of this, we have no emotional connection with Big Titty Lady, and except for the fact that she's a woman scorned and doesn't get enough sex.
with very large boobs.
Yes. So I mean, besides the fact that that's like her only motivation is that she's undersexed and mad at the boss. Because we have no emotional connection with Emilio, we don't know why she would have an emotional connection to Emilio. And I feel like her motivation, simply being undersexed and mad at the boss, isn't strong enough to deal with her getting out. Like I would rather instead of seeing the boss man sodomizing a pterodactyl, we learn more about her and why she's upset and what has she been I mean, has she been trying to find a way out, and now all of a sudden this guy is the answer to her plans? Like, what are her plans? We don't know anything about any of that. And I think Danny mentioned when he was reading it that Emilio is way too trusting. Like, he just got kidnapped. How does he know that she's not, playing a trick on him? How do we know she's not, and she has some other thing cooking that he's just a scapegoat for? Like, I there's so many things that we don't connect to these characters. It's really, really hard to become invested in their journey and their wants, because we just don't have any connection to them. And I think that's what you should focus on with issue 2, because issue 1, it was fine. It was lots of crazy action and all of that, and that's fine and all for an issue 1 as the hook. But now you got to give us the meat on the bones, and I don't feel like the first 10 pages of this story have delivered on that.
Anyway, just my note is that if you did do an alien pterodactyl pod race, the heroes from issue 1 seem to have been reduced to the sand people in said pod race.
Oh, speaking of which, if they
Yes.
show up at this location and then they say, well, let's wait until nightfall, 2 panels later it's nightfall, just have them show up at night. Like,
Yes.
what's the point of having them show up during the day just to say, let's wait for nightfall to then have nightfall be there? That seems kind of superfluous.
Superfluous.
And now I feel some pity for Kyler, so I will suggest that at the very, very least, you could have them show up. Your computer cut out when I suggested that your Rita scene was stupid and it should be a Ben-Hur chariot race scene, and everyone loved it. And now it just occurred to me that you should do that, and also that's when our heroes should show up and they should interfere with it. That would be fun.
Do you feel less sympathy when we compare Kickstarter totals?
No, because
the only thing I would say about the chariot race, because I was actually thinking something like that, but they wouldn't have
pterodactyls. These people ride pterodactyls. They could have a race, and the best one at riding pterodactyls doesn't get murdered. It seems totally in character for them. They're bad at bringing
more Roman Coliseum. That's why I have them
pterodactyls every fight. So that's what you've already established. And then you have all these people who have to, despite being afraid of the pterodactyls, get into deadly range of the pterodactyls' horrifying man-eating claws in order to save their friend Emilio, the drummer, from the only band in their society. So I like punk rock music. In fact, I like any music, and no one else can play the drums. This is a good reason to sacrifice my health and safety. I would definitely do that if I was living in the post-apocalypse. That's my pitch.
All right.
Okay.
Danny, tell us about Parasocial Butterfly.
Parasocial is this was published as a short story in my very first comic I printed, House of Doom, written by Joseph Wilka, who also wrote this draft screenplay. A few months ago, I met a producer, and he's interested in comicsy stuff and horror shorts, and I'm like, well, I've got a couple of horror anthologies. Let's do something. And so Joseph and I agreed to sort of co-write it, but I'd already, from an early stage, sort of seen some things that needed some expansion. And I thought, let's have Joseph write the first draft. And so I got booked on a short film last week and ended up being busy. So I kicked some other stuff to him, and he's in the process of doing some revisions. But then I'm going to be like sort of revising this because I'm probably going to end up directing it. So this is Danny already has ideas of what's wrong with it, but actually I'm going to go listen to everyone's feedback before I suggest any notes draft of this script. Was that
if my note needs more boobs, what do you think?
It's different when you're filming.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, yes, I agree.
So yeah, that's not what we're going for.
That's when you
Excellent.
hire an adult film actress to play your lead so that you can have all the boobs that you want.
There you go. All right. You hang out on this stream. Eventually, you're making porn. Okay. Let's see.
It's not going to happen, Preston.
Okay, fair enough. Interior vlog studio day. A vibrant, colorful YouTube set comes to life. It's an eye-catching backdrop for Brittany, a 22-year-old with radiant smile, impeccable makeup, and a following that knows her as Cutie. Generic, ear-raking corporate video music plays behind her as she speaks.
Hello, my wonderful cuties. I'm so happy to see you all back. I hope you are having a marvelous day. And if not, hopefully we can add some much-needed shine to your day.
Hell yeah. Harsh jump cut. An obvious digital punch-in. Everything is now in black and white.
In today's video, I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
Another harsh jump cut. This time back to color and original framing.
But before I do, be sure. What?
Be sure.
Right. But before I do, be sure to make your membership to the Cutie Squad official by hitting subscribe.
Her audio transitions from, by the way, everyone in the listening audience, yes, like and subscribe. There you go.
There we go. You're welcome, Preston.
No problem.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button. Share the stream with all your friends. There we go.
Please don't comment on this. Comment on all the other videos.
All of the 2 people that are like watching this right now, right?
Yes, that we need more engagement. Anyway.
Maybe not on this one in specific, Preston.
Mm-hmm.
There has been all that questionable content.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you're if we're monetizer friendly.
Oh, whatever.
That's what the viewers want.
We might as well be engager friendly. Her audio transitions from crystal clear studio quality to crappy speakers.
Okay, are you ready for the secret? I've got something special planned this year for Halloween. I thought, hey, why have a costume when I could be a costume?
Interior, Brandon's bedroom night. The camera zooms out of the studio and into the dirty room of Brandon, a teenager that could pass for both 16 and 35.
Like most actors in Hollywood.
Acne blemishes cover his face, and he sports a thin mustache that resembles a pencil line. His room reflects his mental stability. Dirty clothes pile on the floor, and grime-covered plates cover his old desk. He sits motionless in a black hoodie that hasn't been washed in who knows how long. Brandon checks the time on his cracked cell phone. A photo of Brittany is in his wallpaper, but her video plays in the background.
Which is why you can get your official Cutie Squad mask. That's right, cuties. You can be me this year. Honestly, I never thought anything like this would be possible. It's all thanks to you and your support. I never thought in a million years that I'd hit 1 million subscribers, but it's all thanks to you. But that's not my real secret.
Brandon gets out of his creaky office chair and rolls into bed. Brittany's video plays in the background.
The real secret is at one point, I thought this wasn't going to work out, that I was just chasing a stupid dream. I wanted to quit, but even though I wanted to give up, I kept going. So I kept at it, and now I get to share my life with all of you. It's a great life lesson. Always believe in yourself. Always remember to do what's right. If you get knocked down, don't give up.
Get up.
Get up. Yeah, get up. You can handle anything. Thanks again for watching, and know that I love you very much.
She blows a kiss to the camera. Brandon blows one back. He pulls a sheet over his body, still in jeans and a hoodie. I love you too. Title card, parasocial butterfly. Cut to interior high school hallway day. Brandon walks down the halls of his high school, phone in hand, earbuds in place, focused on his phone. While bolting down the hallway, we don't hear Brittany speak, but we see her smile and dance on his screen. He bumps into Sophia, a high school senior, with her hair and bun and thick glasses, causing him to fall on the ground, phone flying out of his hand. John,
That's where you're stepping, dweeb.
I feel like you missed an opportunity to call for massive boobs, just right there. Hang on.
Weirdly, that was already one of my notes.
Okay. Like he needs to be bouncing off of that massive chest and just gets knocked down. There we go. You're the one that crashed into me, Sophie.
You know my name? Gross. You probably followed me home and stole my mail once.
We have class together, idiot. I'm Brandon.
Oh, yeah, you're the kid who sits in the back and watches.
Sophia picks up Brandon's phone. She notices what he's watching.
Watches shit meant for little girls who haven't gotten their first period yet. Bold choice, but okay.
Give that back. He snatches the phone out of her hand.
You're a little too old for makeup tutorials. That shit is for kids who get their first piercing at Claire's.
She doesn't create makeup tutorials. She's like the prettiest girl alive.
I feel like
You
this
say
is
that like
inverse
you know her.
Carrie.
What'd you say, John?
I feel like an inverse Carrie coming on.
Is this the comic book where the fan like kills the girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
inverse
you read
Carrie.
The fan, the stalker, all that stuff. I'll just say I do.
Oh, so you talked to her?
Yeah, I comment on all of her videos. Am I Sophia too? Okay.
Yeah, Sophia's smirk morphs into a look of pity.
Oh, sorry. You're right. Yeah.
You know what? Forget it. You're a lost cause.
I missed that line. You're right. Interior Brandon's bedroom. Later, Brandon doodles a crude drawing of two stick figures holding hands in his desk. Brittany's video plays in the background.
That was my third boyfriend. I hesitate to call him that. More like a bundle of life lessons wrapped into the shape of a boy. Your partner should never say one thing and do another. Actions speak more than words.
There's a knock at the door. Brandon doodles unfazed. We hear Andrew, Brandon's father.
Come on down, son. Dinner is ready.
Not hungry.
Please come out, son. It's not healthy to stay in your room all day.
I can't. I have a friend over.
A friend? Why didn't you say so? He can join us.
The door opens, revealing Andrew, a 52-year-old heavy-set man with a handlebar mustache. He couldn't be more different than his son. Andrew's smile soon fades, becomes a frown as he realizes his friend is Brittany, the girl he spends all day watching on the computer. Dad, get the fuck out.
Off the computer. Dinner time. Now.
But Dad.
Now.
Interior dining room table later. Brandon drives his fork into spaghetti. He rolls it into it on the fork, looking at it but not taking a bite. Between Brandon and Andrew, an empty chair sits, accentuating the space that separates them.
Well, tell me about school.
Brandon doesn't answer. He plays with his food, eyes twitching.
Just say something, son. Anything. I'm worried about you.
There's nothing to worry about.
Nothing? Look at the way you act. When I was your age, you couldn't keep me inside. I had friends. I played sports.
Boy, those were real days. When you were my age, you probably had a job at a coal mine. Things are different now.
Ouch. Somebody is
But
missed a
that's not it.
generation.
We used to do things, Brandon. We'd go hunting together. I remember how fascinated you were when I brought deer home. You practically sawed that thing up yourself. We used to go to the beach all the time. You loved setting up the bonfire. I couldn't get the matches out of your hand if I tried. Now I can't get you to leave your room ever. I don't know what to do anymore.
A loud ding notification sound goes off.
I just don't want to lose you, son. You're all I have left ever since.
Brandon pulls the phone out, sees a notification for a new cutie video. He leaps out of his seat. Can't talk, gotta go. He rushes upstairs while his father helplessly watches. Boy, this is a rough scene. Ugh.
Get back down here. I wasn't.
He slouches back in his seat before playing with his food. All alone, he takes a bite off his plate. Cut to Brandon's bedroom. Brandon rushes to wake his computer up. He wiggles the mouse back and forth before hitting his crusty keyboard. Come on. It wakes up. To his shock, he sees a video called "So I'm Being Cyberbullied." He clicks. The message wraps to vlog studio later. Brittany looks in the video with tears streaming in her eyes.
Hey, gang. I guess there's no easy way to talk about this, so I'm just going to dive right into it. I need to take a short break from making videos. To be honest, I have no idea when I'll be back.
Brandon's bedroom later. Cut to Brandon's reaction. He pulls away from his computer chair in frustration. What? No, this has to be a joke. Come on. Brandon watches videos on his monitor.
As you might be aware, a YouTuber by the name Random Gum thought it would be really funny to upload a video about some of my personal struggles. Watching him mock me and his audience join in made me realize how not over I am with most of my trauma.
Boy, this is some real shit. Yeah, good job, Danny. I enjoy this. What
and there's
trauma?
Not even really tits.
And I know, and there's no tits.
There's definitely some tits.
I mean,
and there will definitely be more of Sophia's tits.
Yes. Which trauma? The boyfriend breaking up with you, the abusive stepfather, the horrible managers. He had no right to bring any of that up.
I need some time to step away for a bit. Mainly to get my mental health in check and reevaluate what's really important to me. I know this isn't what most of you wanted to hear today, and I'm sorry to everyone I'm letting down right now.
Brandon slams his fist on the desk. You'll never let me down. This isn't your fault.
But I have to do what's for my own good, so I hope you all take care of each other while I'm gone. Remember that I love you very much.
She blows a kiss at the camera. Brandon catches it, placing it on his lips. This can't be happening. This can't be. High school day, establishing shot of the high school. Bell rings. Classroom day. Brandon sits at the school desk, his face more sunken than ever. A wad of paper bounces off of Brandon's head. He turns around to see Sophia waving at him. She signals at him to open the paper. He does. The note reads, "Cheer up, Grumpy." Brandon tears the paper in half. Bored, the sound of his teacher speaking draining out, Brandon sneaks his phone out of his pocket. He types in "run a gun" in his YouTube search bar. The first result is YouTuber's brightly pearly white smile at the thumbnail with the text, "I'm not sorry," written in all caps and the most obnoxious font possible. I love it. This is good. Brandon taps the video. Run and Gum's real name is Jordan, a 23-year-old kid who got rich and famous way too early, comes to life on the screen.
Most of you are expecting.
Thanks, Tyler.
Most of you are expecting me to make some sort of apology video where I spill my guts out and act sorry so we can all just move on, forget this. In all honesty, though, I'm not making that video because I'm not sorry.
Brandon's eyes tear up in a furry. Tie up, tear up, and furry. He pulls his phone in closer to his face.
I'd bring all that up with her again if I could. She can cry to her audience all she wants and take a little break for her pathetic mental health, but that won't change what I said. If anything, it makes it even more correct. She's weak and shouldn't be on this platform.
Brandon slams his phone into the desk, shattering the screen. Bastard. The class comes to a screeching halt, all watching Brandon in the same stunned silence.
Is everything okay, Brandon? Something you want to share with the class?
Brandon doesn't say a word. He rushes out of his classroom, cornered. Sophia rushes after him, or concerned, rather. Sophia rushes after him into her hallway. Continuation. Sophia runs after an enraged Brandon.
Hey.
Brandon ignores her, storming down the hall in fury.
Don't ignore me.
Like you care.
If I didn't, then I wouldn't be chasing after you like this. Now calm down. Tell me what's wrong.
Brandon grinds to a halt. He faces her, unable to make eye contact. It's nothing. It's just that.
Has to be something if it's making you this upset.
Brandon doesn't respond.
Oh, Jesus. This is about your internet girlfriend, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. Is that so bad?
Look at yourself. You're acting this way over someone you don't even know.
But I do. At least it feels like I do.
Exactly. It's just a feeling, but she doesn't know you at all. More importantly, you don't know her. You don't know what she's like offline. She could be the worst person you've ever met for all you know.
Don't say that about her. Brandon slams his fist into the locker. Sophia backs away a step out of fear. All right, that's 10 pages, Danny. You did a good job. This is a story very, very close to my heart. What can I say? We immediately understand Brandon and the situation he finds himself in. We can sympathize, but also scorn. And it's pretty clear he's on a bad road. And good job. All right, John.
Yeah, very emotionally compelling. It doesn't take long to really connect with the characters. I like the opening, like with Brittany in the studio and spending that page and a half on her. So we're spending like 2 minutes on her in the very beginning. Really kind of helps introduce us to her as a character, and then by proxy we kind of are able to connect to Brandon, and I think you do that really, really well. And then we introduce all of our other characters through Brandon, which I think is really, really good, rather than just having all of a sudden these other characters just randomly pop in and do stuff. Everything is very connected together, and I think it makes it very compelling and very strong. So good on Joseph. You said this is his draft?
Yeah.
Yeah, I say good on Joseph for what he got for a first draft.
Kyler.
Yeah, I'm getting the Dark Mirror vibes here, where it's a futuristic yet familiar scene here. I happen to have already read the comic for this story, and so I know it's going to happen. But I think you did a good job expanding the dialogue, expanding the characters out a little bit more, and giving it a little bit more of like a screen presence from the original comic that you wrote.
Cool beans. Thanks, guys. Now rip it apart. Let's go.
Go for it.
So I think, like the story in general, I find it hard to believe that a high school guy would be watching this cutie channel. I almost feel like Brandon should be a chick. It would make more sense to me that it would be some girl that feels like she has a best friend that's another girl, where it's a dude who's watching like a cutie channel. It just seems a little odd, but I know that's why it was originally written. So
I don't really have anything. So
I don't either, except I mean, you're not going to be able to use YouTube in your final version, so you'll need to come up with something creative that lets us know what this platform is. But I think that's not going to be too difficult for the audience to make that connection.
He had a different name in the comic. It was something else. Or it was YOO, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have that. That's part of my revision, even though Joseph wrote the comic too. Is sort of going back and like making sure we're on point for at least some of that imagery, and sort of keeping that like in the sequence. And as you were saying, I mean, the hard part here is expanding the world, making Brittany like more of a character, all of that. Yeah,
She does feel like a character, so that's definitely, good job on that part. And I don't know if I've read. I know I backed. Was this the Coffee House of Horror?
This is the one from before that.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did. Okay, so
Which
I only
was
read.
two
I
stories
only
of
had
suburban horror. I'll send you a link later. I think I have a digital copy somewhere.
Yeah, I only backed Coffee House, so that's the only one I have in my file.
Yeah, I would make Brittany, or not Brittany, I would make Brandon a girl and make Sophia a dude. Like have a boy that's has a crush on the girl who is obsessed with this other girl, YouTuber.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen, unfortunately.
Okay.
Because we do have a comic to push.
Yeah, if you change it too much from the comic, you're not going to be able to sell the comic or sell these two as a pair.
But yeah, okay. And from the reading, I actually like noticed a few things I really want to change. I'm just going to sort of pitch those. Do we have time for that?
Go for it. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to add some more like content to Brittany's dialogue because like there's a lot of like generic YouTube crap in there and not a lot of like here's what I'm actually doing. So even if we fade that out, I wanted to like sort of be there, like what's this channel actually about instead of just being like someone talking about themselves and sort of selling themselves. I'll need to do some research.
Makeup tutorial.
To see if that's sensible. Well, yeah, but I need to actually like write one to stick in somewhere. I wanted to make the school thing like a little bit less jarring. So like the classroom scene is fine, but the initial like interaction with Sophia is not like doesn't sell enough that she's actually interested in this kid.
No,
and I really
does not sell that.
Yeah,
that I did
and
not
I want
get.
it to. I want her to be like a human alternative to a degree. Thus, you will be happy. There will be more tits.
Excellent.
Because I want her to be a character who's like interested in our protagonist who is being overlooked for this much easier passive relationship.
Yes.
And then I'm not sure if we even need a teacher sort of scene, although the thrown paper balls was cute. Like him just sort of like being in school, like zoning out, scribbling on desks or whatever, should get that far across. So like, it'll probably be there to some degree, but like maybe less so. But that needs to be a bit more about like offering an alternative as well. Like I feel like the school scenes are the only place where Brandon is able to, where we're going to end up seeing him really interacting with people until the very end of the story anyways. It doesn't involve murder. So really leaning into that, like the school as an alternative sort of safe space is the thing I want to do. And I feel like I want to like double down a little bit on the scene with the dad and sort of like lean in more into that sense of loss that the dad has. And one of my notes was what's on the walls of Brandon's room, which should tie into that dinner scene, like that kind of thing. Maybe actually figure out what happened with the mother and like put that in the dialogue, that kind of thing. So I'm thinking like at most I'm adding half a page to this section, and just sort of moving stuff around to make Sophia really land as like a potential positive influence, and then to show that Brandon is like really actively choosing to not engage with reality. So I mean, are any of these bad ideas, or like is this an execution thing? Is there any like thoughts about what could be cool to put in based on what you guys are seeing?
I mean, if you're going to
I-
develop Sophia as a real life alternative, then we need to. Right now, I don't understand why she's even interested in this loser. So I need to see things. I need to see Brandon through Sophia's perspective more. If you're going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. He is kind of a dweeb loser, and like she's a girl that has options,
Yes.
so it's very tropey to have a cute girl likes dweeb boy for no reason except the plot says so.
Okay, that's quite helpful actually.
Yeah. So we just need to know why. That's really it. Like,
Yeah,
you could
and
maybe you could even tie that into, maybe Sophia's mom is her mom's best friend. So they've been childhood friends forever. So at least maybe not if we don't see her as a romantic option, if we can at least develop that, okay, they've been childhood friends their entire life, then at least we get something else, out of it.
that's really cool. All right.
For me, so like I don't have a problem with this first half. I think it's a good setup. For me, the problem is more in the second half. It seems a little too predictable, and there's not really something in my mind that would drive him over the edge. So I think you need to add that in for the next piece. Like other than her going dark for a few weeks and a guy making fun of her, like I don't think it's unrealistic for someone to hunt someone down over like that. I think.
Yeah, I have some ideas for that. So I'm probably not gonna be around next week because it's my actual birthday next Tuesday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Also to our one viewer, back Cygnus Imperium.
Exactly.
And
how do you see how many viewers?
So I'm not sure if I'm going to have gotten into my revisions yet by that point. As Kyler mentioned, I think this setup is kind of doing his job, but like this does open up a bunch of holes into the back half of the story. So depending on which draft I end up with, and I might bring the first draft anyways. I've got some ideas on how to fill it, and that's ideally in progress. But that's where the hard work I suspect is going to be. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Kyler.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. So we'll probably end up skipping next week then. But we certainly went a lot of stuff this week. And everybody, good job for bringing in scripts. Congratulations.
All righty.
All right. Take care, everyone, and good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.